Obligatory sound check as normal. I don't trust the setup yet. Sorry, sound check as normal. Yep, looks like everything's good. Cool. So, don't want to be wasting too much time. Okay. So, yep, welcome everyone to another newsletter live stream. We're back. This is edition number 4, and it's centering around the topic that I call the getting out of the mid-level developer trap. So this was kind of like coined by me, sort of like an idea inspired maybe by my own experience and my own faults and stuff. So we're just going to jump straight into it, get everything rolling. I'm going to do all the YouTube hook stuff. There's going to be a little bit of acting for this one because the intro is going to be quite hopefully interesting on once I edit it. So don't know if I'll do a little bit of voice acting for this to make it a little bit more interesting. I think I should. Yeah, okay. I'm going to act out a little bit. It's going to be a little bit embarrassing live streaming it, but I'll do it anyway. So I'll do a little bit of voicing. So start with I'll do all the speaking bit, and then I'll do the acting bit and stuff for the YouTube edit. It'll be quite fun. Um, so you're not quite senior. Try again. You're not quite senior material yet. You're lacking mentoring experience, communication skills, attention to detail, leadership, initiative, technical skills, problem solving, cross collaboration. Put it on the live chat. One, two. So back to the non-crazy part. Is this the feedback you're getting when applying for a senior software engineering role? This is what I call the mid-level prison. And you're in it. Want to escape? Then keep watching. Howdy, my name is Liam, and I'm escape. Howdy, my name is Liam, and I'm an escapee of the mid-level prison. I've been working as a developer for the last 12 years. And last year I finally landed a promotion to a senior position after failing for a few years prior. So I know what it takes to get out of the old joint. So in this video, we're going to cover five key things that made the difference in my breakthrough, examples and takeaways for each key point, 2 steps you can take right now that I also did. So if you want to finally break free and reach that promotion, then keep watching. You've got to be in it to win it. The old phrase couldn't be more true. As much as developers don't like it, the game is there and it doesn't help your chances by ignoring it. People might find it cringy or against their morals to play the game. People might find it cringy or against their morals to play the game for promotion, but the truth is, everyone else is, and if you're not, then you can't expect to progress. I'm a big believer in how you play the game matters more than if you win the game. I'm a big believer in how you play the game matters more. I'm a big believer in how you play the game matters more than winning the. I'm a big believer in how you play the game matters more than winning the game. I don't like winning, be it in work, sport, or life, if I can't win in my way. A way that I deem honourable and moral. A way that I deem honourable and moral for my values. And the great thing is, you don't have to compromise on your values to win this game. I didn't. If you work at a good company that has promotion structures and values the experience and progression of the people within. If you work in a good company that has promotion structures, and values the progression of people within. If you work at a good company that has promotion structures and values the progression. If you work at a good company that has promotion structures and values the progressions of the people within, then there's two things you can do next. If you work at a good company that has promotion structures, that values the progression of the people within it, then here's 2 things I would do next. First thing, talk to your manager. Your line manager should be the person who has the most control over the... Your line manager should be the person that has the most control over your path to promotion. Your line manager should be the one that has the... Your line manager should be the one that has the most control over your path to progression. Your line manager should be the one that has the most control over your path to promotion. Oh. You'll normally need their backing in order to get the process rolling in the first place. You'll normally need their backing to get the process rolling in the first place. I'd have an open and honest discussion with them. About your aspirations for reaching the next level and ask them this. What do you see as my biggest strengths? This question gives you their perspective on your perceived strengths and highlights what work of yours is visible to them. This question gives you their perspective. This question gives you their perspective on what your perceived strengths are and highlights what work of yours is visible to them. And also, what is delivering value and impact in your team? What areas do I lack experience in or need strengthening in order to be a more senior contributor? What areas do I lack experience in or need strengthening in to be a more senior contributor? Their feedbacks and comments on this question are very useful because it gives clear signals of what they and the company value in senior engineers. Their feedback and comments on this question are very... Their feedback and Their feedback and comments on this question is very useful because it gives clear signals of what they and the company value in senior engineers. It might also highlight areas you are working in currently but aren't. It might also highlight areas you are working in but aren't currently visible to them. What are some of the most business critical projects I can be involved in that will impact the future for the company? What are some of the most business critical projects I can be involved in that will impact the future of the company for the better? This last one I just stole from Chris Voss. It's not word for word, but it's essentially the same. It shows your interest in creating a better future for the company, and in turn, your manager, and then your team, and then you. It shows your interest in creating a better future for the company, which in then turn benefits your team manager, then your team, and then you. Second thing, make a plan. Take notes on the feedback given and pay attention to the specifics. Go away and draw up a plan of development using OKRs or SMART to have an actionable, measurable plan. Take it back to your manager to review and help. From there, they should be able to help refine and invest in your plan. You need to be the one to execute it. But they should be able to help with any blockers or any. You need to be the one to execute it, but they should be able to help with any blockers that management might need to be involved in. See how we play the game? We play to create value and to genuinely improve ourselves to benefit in a way that also benefits those around us. We play to create value and genuinely improve ourselves in a way that also benefits those around us. We play to create value and to genuinely improve ourselves that helps benefit those around us. Ed Stark would be proud. Communication is vital. Communication and soft skills is probably the number one reason most engineering managers highlight. Communication and soft skills is probably the number one thing that engineering managers Communication and soft skills is probably the number one thing that managers highlight when decided for most engineers. Communication and soft skills is probably the number one reason most engineering managers. Communication and soft skills is probably the number one thing that managers highlight as the main decider between. Communication and soft skills is probably the number one thing that engineering managers highlight for when as they decide. Communication and soft skills is probably the number one thing engineering managers will probably highlight. It can be the decider for most engineers not being quite ready for the senior role yet. It's vital to have great communication skills for a number of reasons. It's vital to have great communication skills for a number of reasons. Confidence. You have to be confident in order for confidence to be shown. You have to be confident in order for confidence to be bestowed on you. This is a hard one for most because it's hard to fake confidence, and I don't think you should try. But it's so important because managers need a level of confidence in their seniors to avoid micromanagement and for the team to function properly. Confidence comes from past experience. If you have experience and past successes to back you up, then you shouldn't have any lack of confidence in talking. If you have experience and past successes, to back you up, then you shouldn't. If you have experience and past successes, to back you up, then there should be no reason to lack of confidence in when talking about something. If you have experience and past successes to back you up, then there should be no reason to lack any confidence when talking about something. I lacked confidence for a long time. And tackled it by doing two things. I gathered more experience across a variety of problems. I improved confidence in my speech by standing up more to speak when I had the chance to do so. If you struggle to get diverse experience at work for one reason or another, from work, then try some side projects to challenge yourself in new areas. If you struggle to get diverse experience in work, then develop some side projects, challenge you in new areas. If you struggle to get diverse experience in work, then try some. If you struggle to get diverse experience in work, then develop some side projects where you can challenge yourself in new areas. And if you don't get opportunities to present or to present to a group, then consider going to. And if you don't get opportunities to present, then consider going to a local meet. And if you don't get opportunities to present, then consider going to a local. And if you don't get opportunities to present, then consider going to a local meet. And if you don't get opportunities to present, then consider going to a local. And if you don't get opportunities to present, consider going to a local meetup or an online meetup for lightning talks or something similar. Seniors are conduits. Seniors should be the technical bridge. Seniors should be the technical bridge from. Seniors should be the technical bridge. Seniors should be the technical bridge from the development team to the engineering manager and beyond. Most engineering managers will be technically experienced but won't be in the code. Most engineering managers will be technically experienced but won't be in the weeds of the code every day. They need seniors to They need seniors to explain simply and concisely what is being done at a high level. What is happening and how things are being done at a high level. They need seniors to explain simply and concisely what is being done and how it's being done at a high level. They need seniors to explain simply and concisely what is being done and how things are happening at a high level. They need to know roughly what the team is doing and how. They need to know roughly what the team is doing and how they're approaching things without getting swept up in the fine-grained detail. Same for product owners and stakeholders. They'll turn to senior engineers when they have questions, and seniors will be expected to adjust their communication based on the audience. One thing I did to help with this was to write more. If I couldn't write it in a way that a 5-year-old could understand, then I couldn't be confident that everyone would understand. Not to demean 5-year-olds or co-workers. Not to demean 5-year-olds or co-workers. It's simply a good benchmark for writers. Not to demean 5-year-olds or co-workers. It's simply a good benchmark for writers. Not to demean 5-year-olds. Not to demean 5-year-olds or co-workers. It's just a good benchmark for writers. Persuasion and leadership. This is a big one, and it's very... This is a big one, and probably the most difficult. There are times as a senior engineer where you'll need to be persuasive. Whether it be with managers or stakeholders or other developers. Your communication skill is vital because it will determine who will and will. Your communication skill is vital because it will determine who will and won't work with you. Your communication skill is vital because it will determine who will and who won't listen to you and work with you. If you can't persuade people and make them believe that you're technical, if you can't persuade people and make them believe that you're technical, if you can't persuade people and make them believe that your technical solution will work, or that this tech debt ticket is valuable to do, or that choosing this thing over that thing is a valuable trade, then at some point you're going to get stuck. Great leaders are ones that persuade you to give up on your dream to join theirs. This is a quote I heard from Codie Sanchez. This is a quote I really like from Codie Sanchez. Annoyingly, I haven't been able to find that tweet or post again. Great leaders are able to sell you their vision, and that's what you need to be able to do in order to lead. Most people will respond to evidence when it's brought to the table, but some people won't, and sometimes there won't be evidence available, so you'll need another tool in your arsenal. Here's what I did to build my communication skills around persuasion. I started to take more ownership of a project that was a shared thing and started bringing solutions to the table. I started to take more ownership of a project that was a shared thing and started to bring improvements to the table. I showed what it was that I wanted to do, and I got people on board to help. I showed what it was that I wanted to do and helped. I showed what it was that I wanted to do and got people on board to help get the changes through. Try and find a project you can recruit people to. Sell them your vision and persuade them. Sell them your vision and persuade them to aid you in creating value. Sell them your vision and persuade them to help you to aid you in creating value. Sell them your vision and persuade them to aid you in creating value. Seniors are leaders, and leaders take ownership. We mentioned this briefly in the last section. But taking ownership is a huge part of being a senior developer. We mentioned this briefly in the last section, but taking ownership is a huge part of being a senior developer. If you haven't read it, I'd highly recommend a book by Jocko Willink called Extreme Ownership. If you haven't read it, I'd highly recommend a book by Jocko Willink called Extreme Ownership. He talks about his style of leadership and his very extreme. He talks about his style of leadership and his extreme position on ownership. And for the most part, I agree with him. I actually took most of my inspiration from this book, and that's the thing that helped me progress more than ever. I actually got most of my inspiration from this. I actually got most of my inspiration from this book, and that's the thing that helped me progress more than ever before. Essentially, if there was a problem with a project I was responsible for, or even partly responsible for, I would make it my duty to understand how I could have prevented it. How I will prevent the problem from arising again in the future, and what to do next. Seniors don't finger point when things go wrong. Seniors don't finger point when things go wrong. Seniors don't finger point when things go wrong. They look at themselves and look to hold themselves accountable. Seniors don't finger point when things go wrong. They look at themselves and look to hold themselves accountable to make things right. Seniors don't finger point when things go wrong. They look to themselves. Seniors don't finger point when things go wrong. They look to themselves and hold themselves accountable to make things right. Keep forgetting that bit. Seniors don't finger point when things go wrong. They look to themselves and they. Seniors don't finger point when things go wrong. They look to themselves and they look to hold themselves accountable to make things right. Keep forgetting that bit. Seniors don't finger point when things go wrong. They look to themselves and they hold themselves accountable to make things right. You have to be willing to fail. You have to be willing to fail and get the stick from time to time. This will sharpen you up as an individual and also gain the respect of the people around you. The team wins together and loses together. The team wins together. The team wins together and loses together, but ultimately it's the leader who takes. The team wins together and loses together, but ultimately the team wins together and loses together, but ultimately the leader is the person who should take responsibility. The team wins together. The team wins together and loses together, but ultimately the leader should take the responsibility and ownership when things go sideways. This mindset difference made a world of difference around me and hopefully the people around me. This mindset change made a world of difference to me and hopefully helped those around me. High technical quality coupled with high impact. This is the one everyone would expect. Of course, if you're a senior engineer, you need to be technically sound. But you need to be more than just sound. You need to be able to deliver high quality solutions that scale. Those solutions need to stand the test of time. Those solutions need to stand the test of time and deliver. Those solutions need to stand the test of time and deliver deep value for the company and those around you. You need to produce solutions that move the needle for the business. But also solutions that enable, empower, and enhance the working experience of those in your team and various teams around you. You can't keep delivering the same solutions every other developer can. You need to solve the hard problems. You need to solve the hard problems that nobody else is willing to tackle. Some examples of these types of projects are a front-end design system, a shared infrastructure platform, tools and modules other teams can use, common documentation and coding standards, business OKR and monitoring dashboards. If you've spoken to your manager already, you should at least know one major project you should start contributing to. If you've spoken to your manager already, you should know at least one major project you should start contributing to. Focus on the one. Focus on the one thing. I focused on one key area I could own and excel in. It was also very valuable to the rest of the product teams who used it and delivered. It was also very valuable to the rest of the product teams and delivered value to those who used it. Focus is the key to generating outsized returns in anything, and software engineering is no different. The more focus and attention you give something, the more you're going to get out of it. You can't have your fingers in all the pies and expect to have impact. Your contributions will be minimal and not easily noticed, if at all. Jeff Su, a Google product marketing manager who got promoted 4 times in 8 years. Jeff Su, a Google product marketing manager who got promoted 4 times in 8 years, agrees on this. But don't be a gatekeeper. Don't hoard all your knowledge and experience in some vain hope of security. What will happen instead is that everyone will blame you when things go wrong. People won't want to help you and might even resent you for keeping them in the dark. Instead, you want to share, teach, and document so people will know to come to you, but will also want to collaborate with you. Instead, you want to share, teach, and document so people will know to come to you, but will also want to collaborate with you. And if you document things well, then they'll be able to solve their own problems when they arise. It takes the pressure off you. It takes the pressure off you for everything and stops you from being a bottleneck for other teams and the business. Make sure to find that one thing you can put 110% effort into. Make sure to find that one thing and put 110% into it. Make sure to find that one thing and put 110% into it. 2 steps you can take right now to break out. Here's 2 steps you can take right now to help. Here's 2 steps you can take right now to improve your chances of. Here's 2 steps you can take right now to improve your chances of breaking out of the mid-weight jailhouse. Number 1, set up a meeting with your manager. If you already have a regular one-to-one catch-up with your manager, then great, just wait for that. But if it's not in the next month, or it's done quarterly, or there's still a bit of time to wait for it, then But if it's not in the next month, then I'd recommend it. But if it's not in the next month, I'd advise setting up an ad hoc meeting with them instead. Use the following structure on screen to flesh out the detail of the meeting. Use the following structure to flesh out the detail of the meeting. This creates a clear picture of what the meeting will be about and what you both want to walk away with afterwards. It makes it clear that you want to progress to the next level. It makes it clear that you want to progress to the next level, but from a position of value first. First, I live up to my expectations. First, I live up to my expectations as a senior. First, I live up to my expectations as a senior. First, I live up to the expectations of a senior software engineer and deliver value, then we can talk about promotions. First, I live up to the expectations of a senior software engineer and deliver value first, then we look at the promotion process. First, I live up to the expectations of First, I live up to the expectations of a senior software engineer and delivering. First, I live up to the expectations of a senior software engineer and deliver value, then we talk about the promotion process. It also creates an element of collaboration and investment from your manager. To involve you in something that will not only benefit the company, but him as well. Company wins, they win, you win. Number 2, find an in-person tech meetup and join the next event. The only way to get better communicating is by doing it more. You build confidence by speaking to people in various people in various settings. Introduce yourself to people you don't know. But don't go in there just to word vomit all over someone. Just for practice. Practice active listening and have a genuine interest in the other person. Practice active listening and have a genuine interest in the other person. Then build the conversation from there by asking interesting questions and sharing your own experiences and stories. When you feel less nervous speaking to new people, when you feel less nervous about speaking to new people, then consider being when you feel less nervous about speaking to new people, When you feel less nervous about speaking to new people, then see about becoming a speaker at the next event, if they have any. When you feel less nervous about speaking to new people, see about becoming a speaker at the next event, if they have them. If not, then ask people if they know other meetups where they do presentations or lightning talks. Or ask if they'd like to start, or ask if they'd like to have start, or ask if they'd like to have start, or ask if they'd like, or ask if they'd like to have start, or ask if they can, or ask if they'd like to start, or ask if they'd like to have, or ask if they'd like to start and see if you can be a speaker at the next one. So now you're on your way to making your own Shawshank Redemption. So now you're on your way to making your own Shawshank Redemption. Watch this next video. So now you're on your way to making your own Shawshank Redemption. So now you're on your own way to making your own Shawshank Redemption. Watch this next video where I'll share insights. Watch this next video where I'll share insights on what the best developers I've worked with did to get ahead of the rest. Watch this next video where I'll share insights. Watch this next video where I'll show. Watch this next video where I'll share insights. Watch this next video where I'll share insights. Watch this video where I'll share insights on what the best developers I've worked with did to get ahead of the rest. Watch this next video where I'll share insights on what the best developers I've worked with did. I'll share insights on what the best developers I've worked with did to get ahead of the rest. Watch this next. So now you're on your way to make your own Shawshank Redemption. Watch this next video where I'll share with you. So now you're on your way to making your own Shawshank Redemption. So now you're on your way to making your own. So now you're on your way to making your own Shawshank Redemption. Watch this next video where I'll share insights on what the best developers I worked with did to get ahead of the rest. And that is it. Whew, crikey. Never gets easier. Whoopsie daisy, can't see the... There we go. YouTube. Oh wait, not YouTube done. Not done. Okay. All right. Just update some bits. Almost finished. Edition. And started idea 5. Okay. I also had something else interesting to do today because I wanted to try and do a little bit off of the cuff in this sequence. A 10x marketer is now a 10x marketer is now more important than a 10x engineer. A 10x marketer is now more important than a 10x engineer. At least this is what Justin Welsh says in one of his latest tweets that's gained quite a lot of traction. I want to kind of just talk through this, see some of the replies and other opinions, what people thought, reactions, and so on, and kind of give you my view on this idea. So let's have a look at some of the reactions. I didn't fully understand the attention economy when I first heard the phrase. Years later, it's hard not to. So Justin makes the point that people without the technical skills that know how to market end up making bigger and bigger splashes, whether that's just because they make more money or make a bigger impact, I'm not sure, but he's got a point there. Then there was a bit of a fiery comment by CEO branding expert saying, no, the engineer can do the marketer's job with training. Very few marketers could do the engineer's job. I don't know if Justin's baiting a little bit, but he says, let's see how it changes over time. Then Vincent Valentine? Then Vincent Valentine replied, engineers are masters at adaptation and solving mental problems. You think marketers have a chance once engineers are stimulated to move over into marketing? Now this is an interesting one because I believe both. Now this is an interesting one because both of these are skills, and both of these are skills that can be acquired. Now this is an interesting one because marketing and engineering are both skills, which means they can both be taught and they can both be learned. One does not replace the other. And it's hard to grade things. And it's hard to grade things in terms of, and it's hard to set a precedence of which, and it's hard to, and it's impossible to measure. It's impossible to measure which one's harder than the other. It's apples and oranges. It's also irrelevant. Then there's another reply from Marco saying this is one of the toughest pills. Then there's another reply from Marco saying this is one of the toughest pills to swallow for all dev entrepreneurs. Justin backing up a little bit, saying it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just a new skill to learn. Then, with this comment, I feel like we're getting to the crux of... Then, with this next comment, I feel like we're getting to the crux of what Justin was trying to point out. Now, with this next comment, I feel like we're getting to the... Now with this next comment, I feel like we're getting to the actual idea of Justin's first tweet. Engineers build the product, marketers make sure it gets sold with AI. So the comment says, engineers build the product, marketers make sure it gets sold. Justin replies, with AI, marketers build the products. Now that's really interesting. Now that's really interesting. People are starting to see this shift of coding to... Now that's interesting because people are starting to see this shift from coding... Now it's interesting because we're starting to see the shift from... Now it's interesting because we're starting to see the shift of technical... Now it's interesting because with the dawn of things like Cursor AI and ChatGPT and... What was the latest one? With the dawn of tools like V0, ChatGPT, Cursor AI, we're starting to see a lot more capabilities. We're starting to see a lot more natural language being used to generate. we're starting to see what can be done. We're starting to see what can be done by building out products with AI generation. So that's interesting. I've always liked this meme. It's just funny. Florin jumped in. Florin jumped in to kind of back up the statement. Florin jumped in to kind of back up the statement, but Justin's kind of taking a bit more of a steadier stance on it. There are lots of replies to this, but those are the most interesting ones that I saw when I was scrolling through. In terms of who quoted it when replying to this, let's have a look. Always has been, but no one is ready to hear that. I do wonder which side of the fence people sit on for this one. Whether it's just developers chiming in, or whether there's designers and other product people and stuff like that. Whether it's just developers or whether there's product people and stuff chiming in on this as well. Here's Florin again. Then here's two quote tweets from people that I tend to see a lot of. Theo mentions, it's nearly impossible to hire a 10x engineer if you're not at least a 5x yourself. It's nearly impossible to hire a 10x marketer if you're not at least a 5x yourself. I think this quote reply is a bit of a fence. I think this quote reply kind of misses the point a little bit, but I can see what he's trying to... This reply kind of misses the point of what Justin's kind of... This quote reply kind of misses the point that Justin's trying to... Oops. This reply doesn't really kind of address, like... This quote doesn't really... This reply has some truth to it, but it's not kind of really touching on the exact topic that Justin was trying to highlight. Then WebDev Cody mentions, to all you nerds, this is the truth. If you can't market your product, it makes no difference how awesome of an engineer you are. I know this. Then WebDev Cody chimes in, To all you nerds, this is the truth. If you can't market your product, it makes no difference how awesome of an engineer you are. I know because I'm a 20x engineer. Look, Cody, we know this isn't your final... Look, Cody, we know this isn't your final form yet, so... Look, Cody, we know this isn't your final form yet, so leave some for the rest of us. Mickey also chimes in, capping? Mickey also chimes in saying, Cap, if you think a marketer with AI will outbuild an engineer with AI, I've got air to sell you. Tony says, this is hilarious. Do you know the difference between a marketer and an engineer? Then there's a whole bunch of sort of meme replies about being 100x this, 10x this. Oh, there's me. Needless to say, people kind of lose. Needless to say, some people are kind of. Needless to say, people are losing their minds over. Needless to say, people are losing their minds over this particular tweet. Needless to say, a lot of people. Needless to say, a lot of people either saw this as a bit of a memeing or. Oh. Let's turn off that camera. Needless to say, a lot of people got kind of mad about this one. Needless to say, there was reactions of all types. People getting a little bit mad, people carrying the torch, people cheering on, people advocating for and against. a load of memes, and just a really, really good engagement piece from Justin. So where do I sit? So where do I sit? So where do I sit on? So what's my opinion on this 10x engineer versus? So what's my opinion on this 10x engineer versus 10x marketer? I mean, I can see where Justin's coming from. Coding and building technical solutions are becoming more and more accessible with new tools from AI coming out left, right, and center. They're getting better every day, and people keep going about. They get better every day, and people keep going about AI slop this, AI slop that, sloppy code this, sloppy code that. But in terms for a but in terms of for a marketer to get something going, to build something that kind of works, there's no denying access to the tools out there currently. There's no denying that tools that are out there at the minute that give access to this level of there's no denying that the tools that are out there at the minute that are commoditizing the technical ability landscape is going to make a difference for marketers. It will be an enabler for more people to do more technical things and put more things together. People will be able to build MVP solutions without having to code, and there's already things like no-code tools out there. The AI tools will just build on top of it and help them deliver more things that they probably couldn't do with no tools. The AI tools will just build on top of what they probably couldn't achieve with no-code tools. And I guess another point he's probably trying to evoke with this tweet is that with more and more products and SaaS company, with more and more products and SaaS, with more and more digital products and SaaS apps available coming out, marketing is going to make the big difference between those that succeed and those that fail. There'll always be a level of there'll always be that competition between the best tools. They'll have to fight not just on marketing, but also which in the end is the best product. I mean, does the best product always win? Have a look at the commercial landscape, and you could have a look at the commercial landscape. You could probably argue that's not always the case. Good marketing and good business strategy. Good marketing, good business strategy, good business models can make the difference between two top edge products. Overall, this opinion is a bit of a cop-out. Because as the problems we face get more and more technically advanced, you're going to need more technically creative solutions, and as the landscape gets more and more competitive, you're going to need more. And as the landscape gets more and more competitive, you're going to need more effective and compelling marketing strategies and solutions. I know this kind of leaves me sitting on the fence a little bit. I know this is a bit of a middle of the road. I know this is kind of walking down the middle of the road. But that probably just means I'm going to get. I know this is kind of walking down the middle of the road, but it probably means I'm going to get hit by both sides. Justin, this would be a great topic to bring to like a podcast or to bring to a long form conversation. Hit me up if you fancy doing it. For all the devs out there replying, freaking out. For all the devs out there who replied to this, freaking out, losing the cool a little bit. Just take it with a pinch of salt. Just take it with a pinch of salt. Just take it for what it is. It's someone's opinion. There ain't no. Just take it for what it is. It's someone's opinion with this. Just take it for what it is. There's no hard data. Just take it for what it is. This is someone's opinion. There's no hard data connected to it. And for people on the other side of this, please have some compassion for the fellow code monkeys of the world. And for those on the other side of the fence with this, please have some compassion for the code kiddies of the world. And for those on the other side of the fence with this, please have some And for those on the other side of the fence with this, please have some compassion for the code lovers of the world. Anyway, let me know if you enjoyed watching this video. It's a little bit different to what I do on my channel. If you did like it, leave a comment, hit the like button. Let me know if you want to see some more reaction videos like this on this channel. Peace. Right, and that's it, folks. That is the end of the live stream. Cooked quite a lot today and did a little bit extra, so I'll get into editing and see how that turns out on the other side. Thanks for coming in to watch. Camera failed after a little bit of time, so I think it's going to have to just be the webcam from now on. I'm going to have to invest in a better webcam because this is okay, but we need to upgrade the quality, keep it up. If you're coming in from the future, thanks for coming back. If you've been watching live, thank you for spending your time here. It's much appreciated. I hope you've got some valuable insights from this. Until